Hello friends, and welcome to a brand new camera comparison between the iPhone 16 and the Samsung Galaxy S24. Right now we are recording at 4K at 30 frames per second. Tell me in the comment section below which one do you think has better colors and which one has a better audio.
As per usual, let's begin with some samples taken with their main cameras, but first let me just clarify the testing process. Every daylight picture is taken in auto mode with all the AI features disabled, including the scene optimizer feature on the Galaxy. The pictures are straight out of the cameras with no edits afterwards. Both devices have their unique style, and of course there are a lot of differences between them, so let me break them down. Immediately I noted that the tree is more visible on the S24, but the colored glass isn't as clear as it is on the iPhone 16. As always, the iPhone takes pictures with a more natural tone, while the pictures taken with the Samsung Galaxy S24 have vivid colors. Both implementations are good, and which one you like more, it is a matter of preference. It is worth noting that the iPhone is almost always sharper because it renders pictures at 24 megapixels. While so far both devices were really good, we can start to see some bigger differences in this sample. If we focus on the right side of their pictures, we can see that only the iPhone 16 was able to retain the original orange color while it is overexposed on the Galaxy S24. On the other hand, in tougher situations like this one where light sources are present in every angle, we can see that the S24 handles the scenes better by better controlling shadow areas. Usually brighter doesn't mean better, but this time I think the S24 is actually better. Both phones are also equipped with ultra-wide cameras, and as expected both retain the original colors of their main lenses. The S24 continues to be a bit brighter, but honestly both are really good and you can't go wrong with either of them. I would like to point out that the ultra-wide camera of the iPhone 16 has a wider field of view compared to the narrower one found on the S24. This isn't a big difference, but when you have two phones that have fantastic cameras, these little details matter sometimes. There were some cases, such as this one, where I couldn't find any differences at all with both phones perfectly capturing these photos. These samples just show that even ultra-wide lenses have matured so much and you can't go wrong with them. For the most part, however, both stay in line with what we expect from Apple and Samsung. The iPhone 16 pictures continue to be warmer and with the Galaxy having lighter colors, but they just pop and are eye-catching. The S24 is a bit more prone to mistakes, like in this case where it misses the orange part even with the ultra-wide camera. The real-life color of this part was what it is shown on the iPhone 16 and not yellow like Samsung made it. Both devices can zoom in at 2x without losing focus thanks to their fantastic main cameras. In this sample I prefer the color of the object on the iPhone 16, but the sky and the trees on the background look superior on the Galaxy S24. Even at 2x the iPhone 16 can't match the S24 in terms of highlighting shadow areas, like here for example, where the leaves are brighter and more visible on the Galaxy. On the other hand, I observed that the iPhone is sharper despite the fact that both phones take 2x pictures at 12 megapixels. If you like Samsung's colors and implementation, then the pictures taken with the S24 will catch your eye immediately. The iPhone is usually more muted, but like I said earlier, it represents the scenes how they occurred in real life. A big advantage of the Galaxy S24 is its 3x telephoto sensor, which is absent on the iPhone 16. Obviously, the S24 is sharper here, while the iPhone is starting to lose details here. Especially if you look at the sky and the hill outside, you can really notice the difference. With objects that are closer to each other like here, they aren't as different to each other, but still the S24 is sharper while the iPhone picture has a lot more noise. By the way, if you are enjoying the video so far, then please consider subscribing to my channel. The ultra-wide camera of the iPhone 16 has now autofocus, which enables it to take incredible macro pictures such as this one. On the contrary, this is the closest I could focus with the S24 without losing focus. If we zoom in at 3x with the S24, we can almost match the iPhone 16, even though the latter is still closer and better. Nevertheless, I will always choose a 3x telephoto sensor instead of a macro option that I will never use. When it comes to portraits in well-lit situations, both are honestly great. In this sample, both phones managed to retain my skin color almost 100% accurate, and even my hair is well preserved. That said, if I had to choose a winner here, it would be the iPhone 16 because it just looks a tiny bit better. Other samples in this category aren't as similar as before. Here for example, the iPhone 16 is much better. My face is well highlighted, the colors are catchier, and even the background looks better on the iPhone. In contrary, the Galaxy made my skin color much darker and even the background doesn't look as good. Switching to the front cameras, where we can see that both devices are shining. My face and my hair are very detailed on them, but when it comes to colors, I prefer the iPhone, although the S24 is really good too. The next sample shows a stark contrast, with the iPhone displaying vibrant colors, while the Galaxy appears overly dark. Once again, I prefer the iPhone because, although the Galaxy offers sharp detail, it significantly lacks accurate color representation. If you are a hiker, an explorer, or adventurer in a need for a phone with a battery life that lasts more than 3 days, and with the strongest audio system in the smartphone industry, then the Alcatel WP36 is just the device for you. This device is unbreakable. It can withstand even the harshest conditions thanks to its robust build quality, and if you have battery anxiety, I am sure this phone will fix it for you since it will last more than 3 days no matter how much you use it. It is perfect if you like to go hiking, and the best part is that it can charge your friends' phones too. Another fantastic feature of this device is the audio quality. It doesn't have regular speakers like other phones, instead it has this giant speaker on the back that delivers outstanding sound. This phone is basically a Bluetooth speaker. Overall, for a price of under $200, the Alcatel WP36 represents a fantastic value for money. Thank you to Alcatel for sponsoring a portion of this video. When it comes to video recording, although Samsung made a lot of improvements in recent years, it still can't match the iPhone 16. Its colors are way too flat compared to the iPhone, where its colors are very rich. The brightness also changes sometimes on the Galaxy, while the iPhone doesn't have this issue. The stabilization, on the other hand, is extremely good on both phones. The same pattern continues even when recording with their ultra-wide cameras. We can see that there is a big difference in the color tone. Just like earlier, I think that the iPhone is doing better when the focus switches from lighter to darker colors, but the Galaxy is also really good too, and it has its unique style of recording videos. Surprisingly, even at 3x, the iPhone is really good too. The S24 should be better here since it has a dedicated 3x telephoto sensor, while the iPhone 16 relies on digital zoom only. Granted, the Galaxy is a bit sharper, but the difference is minimal and the colors of the iPhone 16 just pop. Moving to low light, and from now on every picture is taken with night mode enabled set to auto seconds. In this sample, surprisingly, either device performed as well as I would have liked. This was only a one-case scenario, and I decided to include them just to show that despite the fact that they are fantastic phones, they can miss sometimes. Just like in daylight, the iPhone 16 has warmer and more accurate real-life color, while the S24 is typically brighter with more eye-catching colors. When it comes to details, both are great. The same story continues even with their main cameras. Both phones stay loyal to their processing power that we know and love. In samples like this one, it is hard to pick a winner since both are amazing. In places with less street lights, we can actually see some big differences. The colors of the iPhone 16 are very accurate, but the lights further away are a bit messy. The Galaxy has a purple tint, which I don't like at all, but the lights are better handled. My preferences changed from scene to scene, and there wasn't really a definite winner. Here for example, the S24 picture is a bit more pleasing for the eyes, even though the iPhone is brighter and more visible. Yet, in the next sample, the tables turn since the iPhone is now better. The S24 sometimes suffers with light reflections, while the iPhone 16 handles them better. The latter is also sharper, that's why I prefer it over Samsung. When using the ultra-wide cameras, we notice that the iPhone is much darker compared to the S24, but the Galaxy is still doing a worse job with light reflections. The ultra-wide camera on the iPhone 16 isn't the superior one found on the 16 Pro, that's why it isn't as good. What surprises me here is the fact that the S24 is actually performing better with its ultra-wide camera compared to its main lens, since earlier here the picture had a purple tint. Now it looks much better, and it even exceeds the iPhone. In terms of details, it seems that the iPhone has a more aggressive sharpening effect while the S24, even though smoother, seems to be more pleasing for the eyes. The ultra-wide camera of the Galaxy S24 is really fantastic, and it takes some of the best shots I have ever seen from an ultra-wide camera. The one found on the iPhone 16 is also really good, and it has improved compared to its predecessor, but it isn't the best that Apple makes. At 2x, both retain most of the details, but if you look here, you can see that the S24 is actually doing better with the lights. What surprises me is the fact that the iPhone 16 now has cooler colors, while the Galaxy is actually warmer. This is a contrast compared to what we have seen so far. At 3x, we can clearly see that the Samsung Galaxy S24 is sharper since it uses the telephoto sensor, while the iPhone 16 relies on digital zoom only. The S24 is also a lot more vibrant, and I like it a lot. Although the telephoto sensor of the S24 is usually rated as its worst lens, I think it is still much better than what the iPhone offers. I'd much rather have a weaker telephoto lens compared to no telephoto at all. Alternatively, portraits are a different story. Here the iPhone is doing better since my face is well lit and my hair is very sharp. On the S24 my dress isn't sharp at all, and even my face isn't as detailed. A lot of differences in colors are found in this next sample too. As before, I still preferred the iPhone since here my hair kind of looks a mess on the Galaxy and it blends with the dark sky. iPhones have always been great for portraits, and the 16 is really no different. So guys, what do you think? Which one was your winner? Personally, I love both devices and I can't pick a winner here since both have their strengths and weaknesses. The iPhone is usually better for portraits, while the Galaxy with the zoom. If you did enjoy this video, then please hit the thumbs up button to let us know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.